sponsor, Manscaping. You know, have you tried the new equipment that's been sent?
I'm afraid because it says weed whacker. I'm scared.
Maven, Manscaped. What are you thinking about
Love
Manscaped, dude?
Love it.
What do you use it for?
Necessity. What don't I use it for? Put it this way. The only hair I have on my entire body is these eyebrows.
Yeah.
That you see. These caterpillars racing to the middle of my nose. That's it.
That is it.
That's all I have. And that's all I want.
That's the
Manscaped is a must.
We were talking before the show. There's nothing worse than just hair.
Yeah.
Right? Hair on a woman, hair on a man. It's just bad. Absolutely.
And it's the one thing that the older I get, it starts growing more in unwanted areas.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Just going to go out there.
Oh, boy.
Go for it.
You're doing a deed.
Yes.
Again, I don't want you to have to admit this because we, as men, we try not to admit this. But if you're going to go do the deed on a woman, would you rather have her be hairless or a little hair, racing stripe, or
racing stripe,
full retro bush?
Racing stripe.
Retro bush is out.
Yes, thank you.
Retro bush is out.
Yeah.
I don't mind a small, well manicured landing strip. Every now and then, if it's completely, and I'm talking like baby's ass bald, then I start. Where is that pedophilia line? I don't want to wander into that.
That's very interesting. I never thought about that. You're a smart dude. Holy shit.
So if the landing strip is clean enough for the plane to go in smoothly, you're cool with that?
If the landing strip has, like I said, well manicured, you can see both sides. It's not
like blinking lights on both sides of that.
I don't want, I don't want the shrubbery going off into unwanted areas on that as well.
Gotcha. Oh, look what you found. Ooh.
I got to be all honest though. Hey, the older I get though, I don't think I can be as I
found it.
Have you ever gone down there and she slowly brings down the underwear? Then
what is
retro?
Absolutely.
You're like, whoa!
Wow!
Yeah, I'm 46.
Like it pops out.
Do you like walk out or what do you do?
No, I muster through. I muster up the courage to get
He's
through.
a trooper. Yeah, he's a trooper. Got to give him an A.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, I couldn't say. Well, if you have the same beliefs as Maven does, Manscaped could help you.
Absolutely.
The weed whacker.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I may have to, go in a room, close the door, and hang out with the weed whacker for a little while.
Yeah, I think you're a retro guy, aren't you?
I like 70s adult films, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
but with that, we're going to take a quick
Batman.
commercial break, and we'll be back with this wrestling icon, Maven.
We will see you in a drop kick second.
Drop kick. Adias. How are you, sir?
And what did you do to make Marty Jannetty punch you?
Jimmy.
Let me guess, you were talking when you should have been listening.
Well, I'll give you the short of it. Marty was brought in to do a signing. This is real early on in the show. We were just starting, trying to learn a little bit about the business. And Marty did some Marty Jannetty things, like maybe stuff that we did when we were younger, but at Marty Jannetty's age. And Jimmy and I weren't happy about it. And then we continued to talk about it on the show quite often. And then when he came back on, he punched me in the face. And there you are. There's your answer.
Good enough.
How are you doing, man? How are you feeling?
Man, to tell you the truth, I'm feeling great right now. But in December, I was in the hospital for, a couple of weeks. I had gotten a bad bacterial infection in my lower intestine, and it's called C. diff. Make a long story short, I had a bad tooth. I took some antibiotics to get it under control. They weren't working, so they gave me some stronger antibiotics. Fast forward, I had my hip replaced. They gave me antibiotics. So this thing that I got called C. diff, when you take too many antibiotics, it kills the good bacteria basically in your colon. And that's what happened. And man, I lost 30 pounds, dude. So
jeez.
It was.
Have you ever heard of that before this?
I had not heard of it. You see I feel for these people now where you see all the commercials for ulcerative colitis and all, UC, that you see all the commercials for the probiotics and all that. That's exactly what these people, some people have this stuff 24/7 and it's with them, like Crohn's disease, basically.
Yeah, sure.
It's basically the same thing as UC. But I had this bad attack where it just destroys you, man. Like I said, I lost 30 pounds, man. I hadn't weighed below 200 pounds since I was in high school, So
I got to ask you though. So you had a bad tooth, what, like a cavity or an
no,
infection?
it cracked. I just it cracked. So I went to the dentist and he said, all right, we're going to put you on antibiotics, get it under control before we take it out, because there's nothing they could do because it was cracked long ways, vertical crack. And so I had it happen before. I've had a couple. It's getting older now. You have some bad teeth, lose a tooth here and there. But I've had it done before. But this one was just hanging on. It was still hurting. Even when I had the tooth out, it was still hurting. You know what I mean? But down in just a hole in my jaw that was hurting. So he gave me these stronger. Turns out the clindamycin that he gave me the second go round is the worst antibiotic to get C. diff, this bacterial infection in your gut. So moving forward, beware the antibiotics you're taking and how many you're taking, because it can. I've never been so sick in my life, man. So.
And how long was this for?
What's that?
How long was this for?
Oh man, I was in the. I went to the emergency room twice. First time and here's the deal, they gave me antibiotics. Thinking it was diverticulitis, and it wasn't. So it was just a storm of the utmost proportion, the wrong, perfect storm, the wrong way. You know what I mean? It just destroyed. And I still right now, right down here in your lower abdomen on the left side, it still feels tight even after. There's only one antibiotic they can give you for it, man. But the third day they gave me that antibiotic, I could feel it getting better. But man, I'm gonna text you a picture of me when I was in the hospital, dude. I looked like I was 100 years old.
My God.
Yeah, it's bad. So I mean, I look so much better. I'm still a little bit 10 pounds lighter than I was when I got sick, but I'm slowly gaining it.
I was going to say, Brian, you actually look really good. I mean, you look great last time we saw you, but you look great. You look like you're trim and in great shape. So
yeah,
but you always keep yourself in good shape. So
yeah, I've been fortunate too. I've got pretty good genetics. So I eat right about 75% of the time, and then the other time I just eat what I want. But genetics is more. But I do train. I ride an elliptical every day and try to stay in shape. So I'm getting ready to be 65. So
it's going to sound strange coming from me, but be glad it wasn't diverticulitis. I suffered with ulcerative colitis for a quarter of a century, and then my intestines snapped in half, and they had to take out 18 inches. And
so you know.
Yeah, I know all about it. And you're permanently changed after that operation. Yeah. It's never been quite the same, but we do what we do to keep carrying on. You know? You look great.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, if you'd seen me right at Christmas time, it was. Yeah. I'll send you a picture, man.
Yeah, but please.
Literally, I look, and Pharaoh will be able to. He'll see this picture and realize exactly he would probably look the same way. So.
Yep, it was bad. And I'm not a big guy like you.
You can't eat.
Yeah, I shriveled up into nothing.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, so when I was put something in my mouth was like real, like sore. Yeah. And your swallowing mechanism.
Were you afraid? Were you afraid to eat after everything you went through? Because I was. After my operation and my recovery, I was scared to eat because what goes in must come out. Yeah. So I was actually quite terrified of it. Did you have any fears about eating afterwards?
Really, they started me off on the broth, so I was just sucking through a straw, and then But to answer your question, no, because I was so hungry by then. By the time I started getting better, I couldn't eat very much, though. I would only eat probably a quarter of what I would normally eat, and I'd have to really worked to get it down. But like I said, I was so hungry. But now I didn't have any fear. I guess a couple of things that normally would give you problems, I would eat just a little bit. Anything like dairy, like sour cream, and I ate some of that last night for the first time, and just do a little bit at first to see how it's going to treat your body. But yeah, it damn sure makes you more aware of what you're putting in your mouth. That's for sure.
Was there any point, Brian, that you thought maybe this could be the end?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Monica was there with me the whole time. She never, with the exception of running over to the house and taking a shower and getting some clean clothes on and stuff like that, she never left. And of course, she didn't say anything. She didn't want to tell me. I already knew, because she was real scared. You know, when I had my hip out in November, I actually had an event where my blood pressure shot way up to like stroke level, and I had like 30 people in my room, and like I said, in November. Turns out that was the beginning of this C. diff. We didn't know it at the time, but it was flaring up and making my blood pressure go up. And I mean, when you got 30 people in your room running around with all these machines and stuff, it's scary, you know. Yeah. So they don't bring the crash team in there to the rapid response team in when when there's nothing wrong. So
well,
yeah, I was scared. It scared me, but I try to stay positive and just move on. And they always say your attitude when you get something real bad like that, you're staying moving forward and being positive is a big thing. So that's what I tried to do. So.
Or you could tell the truth and say that, like, when you're ready to go, you're like, all right, I'm done, I'm heading out. And then you find out all these doctors are hitting on your wife. You're like, screw this. I'm surviving this one.
I'm not ready to give her up yet.
I'm not ready yet, but I let that go.
Yeah.
Speaking of